Sig Sauer P320 X-Five. Man, it's a lot of fun. Big Pastor T here. Hey, I got a treat today. We got this Sig Sauer P320 X-Five out here on the range. Some of you guys have been watching these videos know how much I like the SIGs, and I've really enjoyed my Sig P320. Well, a friend of mine got his hands on one of these elusive X-Fives, so he told me I could come out here and bring it on the range and do a little shooting. So that was the first 2 magazines the gun we fired through the gun. Really excited about the gun to get it out here. Let's look at some of the features of this gun. The gun is a full-size 9mm, this is chambered in 9mm, a full-size 9mm P320, but it has quite a few differences from the original P320. So I thought we'd highlight some of those differences today and see how the gun shoots. So I've got a compact FDE 320 here, so we can look at some of the differences. First of all, as we look at the gun, it's real easy to see, you know, we got lightning cuts is the first thing that kind of stands out right on top of the slide. And it's got a bull barrel, stainless steel bull barrel. So really neat look. They did this, I'm sure, so that we could have a lighter slide. It's going to work a little better. It's going to be a little quicker. It's going to be a little faster. And then also, you notice right away, this gun's got a flat face trigger. Now, the trigger, it's the first time I've shot the gun, just now, and I do like the way it breaks. It breaks at a 90-degree angle. It's the same trigger group that's found in the everyday run-of-the-mill P320, but it does have the flat face trigger, which I think would help folks. I think the reason that Sig did this was so that it'll help folks that either pull or push the trigger with their finger as they press the trigger. So I do think that's going to be a big help for those kind of folks. And I like the way it feels myself. You can notice it's got a extended magwell. This is factory, comes from the factory with the magwell. So it's a lot easier to get the mags in there if you're going to try to be in competition with a gun. You want some fast reloads. I think it's going to help. It's got a weighted grip in there as well, and so it's supposed to help with the felt recoil. It probably does. The gun doesn't have a lot of recoil as it is, so I don't notice a lot of recoil with the gun, but I'm assuming folks that are very recoil sensitive, that's probably going to help. Anytime you add weight to a gun, you're certainly going to reduce the felt recoil, especially when you do it in places like the back of the grip. I know that does help. And the gun feels good. Now, to be honest with you, I'm used to shooting SIGs, and I've also got a number of Glocks, and I'm used to shooting those. But the SIG bore axis is a lot higher than Glock, and they've done something with this gun. We'll look at it in a minute. They've done something with this gun to kind of maybe, I'm not sure fix is the right word, but to kind of change the bore axis and the feel of the gun. It makes it a little bit more comfortable for those of you, and some of you I know are Glock lovers, and some people are Glock haters. Glock seems to be very polarizing, but I think it will feel a little bit better. Let me just shoot a little bit more. I hadn't shot, like I say, these are the first 2 mags I've shot through it, so I'm kind of anxious to see how the gun, I'm going to see if I can go around the range a little bit quicker and see how the gun transitions from one target to the other as we go around. It's got contrasting sights, and I think that's going to help a little bit. So let's just check that out and see what it does. I think the contrast in sight helps a little bit. It's got the Dawson Precision sights on it. I've got Dawson Precision sights on a couple of my competition guns, and I really do like them. Again, it's got the fiber optic front, and it comes with both the orange and the green replacement fiber optics there. So I like it. The rear is non-glare. Dawson, if you're used to that, you're kind of used to that sight picture, and so it does pick up pretty good. But one thing they've done a little different with this gun, they put this rear sight. They built this thing, integrated it in. I don't know if the camera can pick that up, but they've integrated this thing in to a single piece that sits down in a little recess here in the slide. So you can pull this whole thing out, and then it's ready for a Romeo 1 optic, and Sig's got a really nice Romeo 1 optic for it. So you can have a out of the box Romeo 1 ready gun with this X-Five. Now, I was talking about the bore axis, the gun, and this gun, because they've extended the beaver tail on the gun, and it really feels good to me the way they've done that. I have big hands, I have kind of fat hands, and so I like the way it feels. I feel like I can ride a little higher on that. So if you kind of take a look at these two guns together, I think you'll agree, it does look like that you can ride a little higher, with the X-Five because of this extended beaver tail. They even say on their website that they've made this, they've got it pulled up just a little bit higher than on the everyday 320, and then you can see a little bit of relief underneath the back of the trigger guard. So I feel like your hand kind of gets up a little higher as I'm shooting, and I feel that. I like the way the magwell feels at the bottom, because my fingers are so big that at the bottom of the gun, it feels good. And I feel like with the extended beaver tail up top and then the magwell on the bottom, I feel like I can really control the muzzle flip. Now, mind you, it doesn't have a tremendous amount of muzzle flip. The way they designed the gun, it doesn't have a lot of muzzle rise. I don't feel like I'm battling anything. It's really set up, right out of the factory to be a good shooter. The everyday P320s, they're really good shooters. I really like them. Sig has been known for years for their classic P guns, P226, 227s and 9s and 220s, and those are hammer fired guns. And these new striker fired Sigs, man, they really are giving Glock a run for their money. I still like the Glock striker system. I like the trigger on the Glock. Some people, again, you love it or you hate it. But if you're a Glock fan and you just haven't given Sig a try, this might be the gun you want to try, because this thing is going to feel very familiar with it. It's got a good trigger. It's got I haven't put a scale on it to see exactly where it breaks this one, but I have on this one, and it's very comparable to a Glock. This gun is very crisp. You come back to a wall, you can feel there's not a lot of travel there, and then it's very crisp in the break. So I like it. I think if you try it, I think you'll like it too. Let's see what we can do again with it. Let me shoot it a little bit faster on this silhouette and see how this thing does in rapid fire. See if I can keep the muzzle down and keep it on target in rapid fire. Seems pretty easy to control. So, it's not the ideal self-defense weapon. It's not something that, you might pick up and want to carry. It's so big, but I do think it's something that if you love to shoot and you want to go to the range and just try something out, I think you won't be disappointed with this gun. I think this gun, for the price, I think these things are selling at the moment for somewhere between, let's say, $850 and $1,000, depending on where you are. And so I think you might want to take a look at it. Let's just take a look visually at the gun. I see a couple of differences. One of the things that stands out, of course, this is a compact size here. This is the other 320 that I have. But I do see that the serrations of this gun, they tried to match, I think, the grip angle with the serrations. As you notice, the original 320 serrations have they're a little bit different angle back there, but I think they tried to match both the front and rear of this gun. They tried to match the grip angle like that. And as I look at the slide stop, they have made the slide stop just a little bit larger on the X-Five. I feel like the grip, as far as the tackiness of the grip, as far as the stippling of the grip, you know, it feels about the same to me as the original X-Five. It has the same modularity, so you still can, you know, take the slide off and you can still take the whole firing control module out just like you do on the original 320. It's ambidextrous as far as the magazine release goes, but you do have a little bit more relief back here, and you do have a little bit higher and extended beaver tail. So I really think it's a neat gun if you can get your hands on it. They're hard to come by. Like I say, I appreciate a friend of mine that allowed me to shoot this gun and bring it out here and try it out on the range. If you can get your hands on one, I don't think you'll be disappointed by it. I think Sig's done a great job with this X-Five. So don't forget, God gave us liberty and God gave us guns. Thank you, Lord, for the blessings. Have a great day.